All right, so next month will make 4 years since I've been doing comedy, and I've been challenging myself, and others have challenged me to document more of the stories that have happened to me thus far in this amazing journey I've been on. So today, and this is not going to be in any particular order, I want to talk about how I got my first show in New York, and the videos that I put out. I don't want it to be about me and the accomplishments or the downfalls, or whatever. I want this to be about whoever you are that feel like you can use information, extract the information and principles out of it, and and apply that to whatever you got going on. That's the goal of these here. So let's talk about how I got my first show in New York. My first show in New York is a byproduct of how I chose to respond to a certain situation. That certain situation was missing my flight coming back in December. I was coming back from New York in December, had a really good trip, and left the airport with enough time even to account for traffic, but it was so much traffic once I got there, getting through TSA, and then there was a lady in front of me. You ever just had that person in front of you at the airport that just is a mess? And I've been that person before too, but I wouldn't have messaged that, but the lady in front of me was a mess. She was older. She had all the crates. She didn't have her shoes off. She had stuff in the bag. She was still trying to take out. She had a dog crate that wasn't TSA approved. She had all kind of stuff going on, right? So as they stopped the belt trying to sort through her, this is holding up the line. And by the time they get to me, they pull my bag too for something they've never pulled it for, my Apple TV. Device that you can plug into a TV. That was in my bag. Get to the gate, they closed the gate. The lady that was in front of me is also going to Dallas. So getting back to the ticket counter or whatever, the attendant told the lady in front of me, and the lady in front of me is like, her demeanor is very aggressive. She's talking rude to the people. She's questioning. She's saying that they should take care of this and do that. And the girl was being polite. She told her, like, ma'am, I definitely understand. I deal with this every day. I know it's frustrating, but we don't have any flights going out tonight. So if you want to get out of here tonight, you have to check with another airline. If not, if you're flying with us tomorrow, these are options I have for tomorrow. These are the times. What works best for you? And she repeats this to this lady over and over and over. And then I kind of had like a self-reflection moment of like, and I'll be transparent, of a place that I've grown from, of like how long I allow myself to linger on stuff. I've gotten a lot better at that. And that's something that I can be transparent and say that I had it and still figure out like ways to get better. But I don't linger as long on certain things. I don't like myself. And then as a lady, it's kind of like asking the questions and going through the same hoops. And this girl has told her about 3 times now, ma'am, these are your options. We don't have anything going on tonight. These are your options. And I'm registering in my head like, okay, this is the reality. And I saw a reflection of myself in that lady, the old me. And I was like, one, I'm annoying myself right now by just listening to this. So this girl has told her, these are the options. I'm in the same situation as her. So let me make my mind up and get over the fact that you missed your flight and how you missed your flight. Let's move on. The reality is you don't want to deal with another airline and you're in New York another night. You're in New York another night. So what you going to do? Well, you got to make the best out of this time possible. These are the results. But the thing that's against me now is time. The old me would have been just with that lady. I'd have been asking questions. I'd have been frustrated. I'd have sat down in the lobby. I would have called people, told them about it. It would have just been a whole loop, and I would have just wasted time. It's a lot of time at the airport just to still be in New York another night. So I told myself, you know what? Let's pick this flight and let's move on. Let's make the most out of this time that you have here in New York. So pick the flight, leaving the airport. I hit Frankie up. Shout out to Frankie. I hit Frankie up and asked her what was going on in the scene that night. She sent me a few things. And I remember she had sent me a spreadsheet like the week before, just so I could know what mics are going on, shows, whatever. So I'm on the train back, and I was like, I need to book somewhere. I'm not going to be here long, so let me find something that's relatively cheap. I'm just need somewhere to crash, nothing too crazy. So I booked a room at a hostel, a little shared space at a hostel. And I was just gonna go and drop my bags off and get back into the city, find some stuff to do, try to get on a mic or something like that. So after I book the room at the hostel, I get on my phone to look at the spreadsheet Frankie has sent me, and there's for Tuesday's show, comedy night at hostel. I look at the address, and I'm like, wait, comedy night at hostel? This is the hostel I'm literally headed to drop my bags off at. There's no way there's a comedy show where I'm about to stay at. Sure enough, I get there. There's a comedy show at the doggone hostel that I'm staying at, right? So I go down there and it's a full-blown comedy show. I pull the host to the side and was like, yo, bro, like, this is kind of what just happened. I'm a comedian in town from Dallas. I missed my flight going back. Whoop to whoop. I'd love to work with you at some point, whatever. Stayed in touch, and boom, landed my first show just in March in New York. And the principle behind this one is how I chose to respond to the situation and not waste as much time, because the old me would have spent a lot of time just off of the emotion behind it. Like, you missed your flight. Yes, it sucks. It's frustrating. But I had to look at the pluses of it. Okay, this is how much time you have here. Let's make the most out of it. You're blessed enough to be in a position where financially is not like a big stretch of I have to stay in New York another night. Yeah, I take an L with work. I got to figure that out. I'll be penalized from that. But ultimately, let's figure it out and get back into the city. And from there, I not only lined up my first show in New York, I also had a really good night. I ended up going to the Comedy Cellar, getting a ticket to a show. Michael Che was a pop-in for that night. After leaving in Homestead, I had some amazing food. Went back to the hostel, crashed, woke up, made my flight the next morning. And it was just like, lingering onto that response of like, oh, whoa, like, oh, it's me. Like, but having the mindset of, okay, this is the facts of the situation. How can I make the most out of it? No matter how it looks, good, bad, ugly, it's your fault, somebody else's fault, it's fair, not fair, whatever. You still have a response to make. So I challenge you to question, how have you been responding to life? How have you been responding to life? Because it's very critical, especially the time that you spend, especially if the results are the same. Sometimes we get so caught up in the emotional end of how we are affected by a situation, and instead of we're reacting versus taking action. We spend more time on reacting to it versus taking the action. Okay, how can I make the most out of whatever this is? So I challenge you to focus on like how you respond and the stuff you can control, and what is in your control that you can make the most out of to try to shadow and overcome that emotional feeling that we can get stuck in because stuff don't go our way most of the time. And that's going to be life. But figuring it out and getting to the other side, you don't know what's on the other side of that. I'm sure my night wouldn't have been as good. I'm sure I would have came back to Dallas and probably got on a mic or something like that. I would have had a fine night, but it wasn't that good of how my night ended up in New York. So focus on how you respond, because you just never know. You never know how stuff can work out. But that's the story of how I landed my first show in New York by choosing how I wanted to respond to the situation. Until the next story, I'm out.